He wants to see us all sort of, every man for himself type of situation. Every day and every night, Ukraine is bombarded by Russia with drones and attacks, and for the most part, Ukraine has not responded in kind. And so if they're attacked, there's no reason why they shouldn't attack back, and they have. And for the most part, Putin has tried to keep this war away from his people. He doesn't even call it a war. He calls it a special military operation. And he's hoping that by not calling it a war, by not having Russian people feel the effects of it, and in fact, all the casualties are coming from far reaches of Russia, but not Moscow and St. Petersburg. He's hoping that the people of Russia will not form a very strong public opinion against it. And so it's very handy for the Ukrainians to show the Russians that here's what happens to us every night is going to happen to you, so that the Russian people can also be on the side of ending this war of aggression that Putin has launched. Donald Trump wants Ukraine to surrender. That's, I mean, to put aside all the jargon, he's basically cut off military aid to Ukraine. He's cut off intelligence sharing to Ukraine. He's publicly humiliated Zelensky. He's calling for his resignation. He wants Ukraine to capitulate. And Ukraine has no intention of capitulating. And I think that by launching a drone attack on Moscow, it's a symbol that Ukraine is standing up for themselves, and they're not going to just surrender and allow Russian soldiers to rape Ukrainian women and Ukrainian men to be shot and killed, and for Ukrainian children to be kidnapped. Zelensky is not giving up, and this drone attack is a sign of that. U.S. wants Ukraine to surrender. That's what they're asking for. So basically to say, give up a lot of territory, probably would disband their military, and allow a some type of Russian candidate to run in the election, in a presidential election that should be called. That's effectively what America is hoping for right now. And it's really important to point out that while all these extreme demands are being put on Ukraine, I've not heard of any demands whatsoever, extreme or even mild, being put on Vladimir Putin. What has Donald Trump demanded of Vladimir Putin? Nothing. And what has Vladimir Putin indicated he will do to compromise? Nothing. And so this is not a negotiation. This is a browbeating of Ukraine using all the leverage of the United States. My prediction is that the outcome of these peace talks will be inconclusive. Ukraine will to make some gestures of goodwill. They'll say things like, we can sign a minerals deal, a framework deal about possible future investment of United States and Ukrainian minerals. They'll talk about a temporary ceasefire. They'll talk about, possible gestures of goodwill of releasing Russian prisoners in exchange for Ukrainian prisoners, things like that. But this idea that Ukraine should give up unilaterally territory in exchange for nothing is just complete nonsense. Russia should withdraw from Ukraine. Russia invaded Ukraine. They should withdraw from Ukraine. I mean, that's been the position of all allied governments, that this was an unprovoked war of aggression. Russia has violated the sovereignty of Ukraine. Russia should